Hello, vibrators. Welcome to Vibrate or Diedrate. This is Fat Sack Mike.
And this is Third Street. This podcast is all about surprise topics where we're going to ask what the vibe is. Today, I'm going to be talking about memorable nights.
And I'm not going to be talking about candy. That's right. Fat Sack Mike, back talking like I'm about to get smacked for it. Let's go. Vibe in.
Welcome back, vibrators.
Vibrate or Diedrate. March episode. We're back.
We missed last month. Honestly, that's mainly on me. School kind of got hectic, but we're here now, and that's all that's important.
Yeah, and I don't do anything with my life, and that includes my responsibility to this podcast. So that's why I
pretty
missed
much. I'm holding this team together, so that's
Yeah.
just great. So let's just start off. Let's just start off now. But I think Mike was going first this time because I went first last time.
Yes.
So let's hear your topic, boy.
So this is going to be good. Originally, I was going to talk about something my cousin brought up. So I've been staying with family for the past week and a half or so, and was with my cousin was out here over the weekend, and we went to go to the grocery store, and as we're checking out, we're just standing there looking at, how they always have the little candy bars and the gum and everything right there at that register, because it's, each one is like $1. So the whole marketing thing is like, oh, what's one more dollar? It looks good. I want it. Give me it. Right.
Yeah.
That's how they make it right there. He made a quality point that has kept me up for nights on end. When was the last time you seen a new candy bar?
A new candy bar.
What? In a world of constant upgrades and getting the new thing and ridiculous change. Like 10 years ago, we were texting on bricks. Absurd.
Crap.
Right? The last new thing I can think of is 5 gum. Right?
That is so old though.
Right? When it was the new 5. And that's the thing, is that's so old. Like those commercials with the guy spinning around in the room, and then the guy kind of in a soft-spoken voice goes, "This is what it feels like to chew new 5 gum." That's the last new, that's not even a candy bar, but that's the last new item you would see at the checkout at a grocery store. Isn't that absurd?
I'm assuming that there's new candy bars, if you were to actually go to a candy shop, but who does that?
So I thought about that, and I don't even think there's no new candy companies. It's just all the existing companies coming out with something new. I think the actual newest candy bar would be the cookies and cream Hershey's, which
Ooh.
I don't. Now I'm thinking about it. Why do I know so much about candy?
They made a mocha chocolate Kit Kat. Actually, I saw a commercial about that recently.
That sounds good. See, it's all these established companies that are creating new products in their product line, but there hasn't been a new candy bar.
But also the thing is that all of these candy bars come from the same company because capitalism. So they're just not creative. Yeah, it's the same 2 companies. So it's where is their creativeness? What did their employees do? Don't they have meetings for this kind of stuff? Where you're supposed to present ideas?
100%.
Wow, that's crazy. So that's not the...
Yes, so that brings me to what my topic actually is, which has nothing to do with this at all. That's what I was originally going to talk about, and I was just going to go spew nonsense about that for, a good 15 minutes.
Love it.
But as Renika had mentioned, and what I'm pretty sure her topic is, I also like to make a point of, retouching on what the whole basis of this podcast is, that we each have a topic, but we don't tell the other person what it is, and then we just have a genuine conversation about it.
I am gonna let you know right now that I think what you think my topic is, it's definitely not. So
Is it not? Is it not Little Nas X and Satan?
no, I didn't know if that
Okay.
was something to
No,
bring.
I mean
That's what.
that's a good way to bridge into my into what my topic's actually gonna be.
Mm-hmm.
Which now I'm thinking like shit,
You
like
keep scooting
might
your
have been
chair and it
better.
sounds like you're shitting yourself, but continue. Yeah.
Scooting my chair.
Is that not, what is that noise?
I'm shitting myself.
Okay. Just tell me your fucking topic, dude.
Anywho, we were briefly talking before we started recording, and Renika had mentioned how she had just been watching a Little Nas X video like for 5 times in a row or something, and that it's related to Satan in some way. I have no idea what that is coming from because I have deleted all my social media for the past, I think, almost a month now, month and a half. It's something other than Snapchat, and that's just because one of my cousins, not the one I mentioned earlier, is stubborn and likes to be different and has an Android and can't have a group iMessage.
Gross.
And it drives me, it drives me up the wall. Like, it's questionable some of the things I've thought about just I would do to force him to get an iPhone.
Okay.
Anywho, I deleted Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Mostly because I'm unemployed and I need to get my ass out of my fucking apartment room and go get a job. And it wasn't helping having something that could just give me satisfaction for, as my iPhone told me, on average, 15 hours a week or 15 hours a day each week.
Yeah. Okay.
So I went ahead and deleted those apps. I haven't had them for about a month. It was a good excuse. As I practice Catholicism, it was a good thing to give up for Lent. So I'm back on Sunday on Easter. I'll be all over the internet. Probably not, but maybe a little bit. Regardless, she had mentioned something about Lil Nas X and Satan is this big old thing. I have no idea what that's about. I'm completely in the dark.
Okay, so I will give you the short version of what's been going on. But first I want to say, no offense, but I didn't even notice that you weren't on social media. And I literally have your tweet notifications. No, I have your tweet notifications on and I still didn't notice. I kind of feel like
Oh no.
I
don't know if that says more about me or you, because I retweet a lot of pointless stuff.
Yeah, you do. It's usually what is the only notification on my phone throughout the day because no one talks to me. But no, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with me, but I will pay more attention in the future. But anyways, Lil Nas. He released a music video for his newest single, and at the end he starts grinding on Satan and like gives him a lap dance.
That's funny.
And then he ends up killing Satan and then puts on like Satan's crown and then like I guess becomes Satan himself or whatever. And then he also announced that he partnered with Mischief, the shoe design company, that they're gonna release like 666 pairs of these Satan Nikes.
Oh no.
And they have like a drop of real human blood in them, like in the soles. And so,
are you serious?
Shit has been going down, as you can imagine, in this world that we live in.
Whoa.
People are like,
this is so much different than I thought it'd be.
People are like, I am boycotting Nike, and Nike's like, these aren't our shoes. This isn't even like, we didn't do this shit. And so now Nike is suing Lil Nas, or no, they're suing the company. They're not suing Lil Nas, but like he's, right, I guess, a part of it. But now Nike is suing Mischief because like shit has been going down, and like people have been like giving them so much backlash over these
No
shoes.
kidding. That's like huge libel lawsuit. I think that's libel. I think that's the right word.
Oh my
That's
god, it's a lot.
what was the company?
It's Mischief. The M at wait, how do you spell it? It's like MSCHF.
FT. Oh, okay.
Oh, I don't know, something like that. Yeah.
Whoever it is, Mischief. How would they not see this coming?
Well, because
What?
Mischief does this very often. Like they've never they've never gotten sued. Like that's their whole company. They buy these shoes, redesign them, and then sell them. And like that's what they've been doing. It's just I think now that like this whole thing caused so much controversy that like, you know, Nike is probably like stock plummeting, etc. Like now they're like, oh, we're gonna sue y'all's asses.
No,
like,
but I think by like technical business law, like Nike is completely gonna win this lawsuit.
Yeah, because like you can't like, you know, I like read over the lawsuit a bit, and it was just like, oh yeah, like you know, we decide what we put the Nike logo on, like not anyone else. So I was like, yeah, that's true.
Well, and I mean, bottom line, I'm just now hearing about this, but the company is in a sense tarnishing or connecting what many see as a negative connection and a negative image to their brand, which is costing them a lot. Like you said, I'm sure a lot of people are screaming to the tooth and nail about boycotting. It's costing them. It's costing Nike. I think this should have been seen, but at the same time, I'm also thinking like, wow, like if this is what Mischief?
Mm-hmm.
Mischief, if this is their whole brand, then this is them taking it another step higher and really leaning into that, which maybe might cost them millions, but might even find themselves a much deeper brand loyalty. I don't know.
So, okay, here's my thoughts on the whole thing. So, like, I feel like all of this controversy in general, like, Lil Nas X, like, this is how he markets. Like, he puts out controversy to get attention for his songs, which ends up working, obviously, because the music video released 3 days ago and it has 40 million hits. So, like,
damn,
it works. Yeah. But like I don't know if they ever expected the lawsuit, but I do think that Mischief was like, oh yeah, this is gonna like cause controversy, and then like people are gonna get mad at us, and then that's just gonna make other people want to buy our stuff more, you know? But I don't know if the lawsuit was expected.
Yeah, I mean, you've heard that like there's no such thing as bad publicity, right?
Exactly.
I think regardless, even though there's a ton of people who might be boycotting Nike, who they're a huge lawsuit against Mischief. I'm gonna confuse them with Misfits all the time. I think that's another brand.
Oh, yeah, I think.
No matter what, they are now, as I am assuming and taking your word for it, all over the internet.
Oh yeah.
Which is like that alone is like worth every penny. Dang.
No, I mean, I think everything that Lil Nas planned for this music video release was absolutely genius, first of all, in like marketing in general. Dang. But it's just like all of the, like literally, like I told you, like everything all over every social media feed anywhere is just like, you guys need to stop disrespecting God and disrespecting Christianity, and this is not okay and stuff like that. And I'm just like, okay, you can be upset all you want, but also at the same time, two things. One, the music video was about how like the Christian church made him feel worthless because he was gay. And this is like basically him doing what the Christians basically said was going to happen to him and going to hell. Like that was the whole plot of the music video. But also, how does like Satan really affect Christianity? Like it's not like he like walked up to Jesus and like did something, you know? Like I just like, it's just, to me, I feel like the devil or anything like that in general, like any version of the devil is throughout so many different religions, so many like Greek mythology, like Roman mythology, all of that. So it's like, I don't really see, like, I
Right.
just feel like you can call Satan whatever you want, but he has different forms in so many religions. So I don't really see why this is like Christianity offensive number one, you know?
I've this is a very interesting point because again, like you said, there's multiple interpretations of Satan, and I think Satan itself, not going to gender it. Satan is a essentially in the Bible is depicted as originally an angel that fell from heaven, and
Yeah.
yes, but I think the bigger point behind him is that there I did I said him. Whoops.
You're doing great.
The biggest point behind Satan is that he like essentially the devil is a representation of pure evil.
Right.
Right. So to have that just shown anywhere, I think a lot of people, I will say, can rightfully be upset if just people don't want to see pure evil or any sort of metaphor for that. However, at the same time, it's also, if you don't want to see it, turn it off.
Yeah, no, like that's the thing. That's the thing with me. Like everything that I've been saying, I'm just like, okay, like he's a bad influence, and I'm like, okay, then tell your kids to watch something else. Like,
right? Like they have such. I think there's a brand new Mac update that I just put on, and they had a ton of different parental controls on there. I know they have iPhone and Mac and everything across all their products have huge parental controls. I know, like I'm pretty sure Verizon TV and especially Xfinity, Comcast has parental controls. Like, if you don't want your kids watching this, if you yourself don't want to be watching it, the crazy idea. Don't.
Yeah, and like I get the whole thing. Like me personally, like I don't mess around with like demonic stuff. Like that's
right.
a me
No,
thing,
I actually,
whatever.
yeah, I honestly myself try to avoid the number 666 in all
Yeah,
possible.
exactly. Like I'm not going to like, well, I guess they released today, but like I'm not gonna sit there and try and be first in line to get a pair of Satan shoes with like a drop of human blood. Like
Yeah,
that's not
no,
me. But
100%.
also he can do whatever he wants. And like I love Little Nas X. Like I think I always will. Like I think he's like a really, like, I don't know. I think he's just a very creative person, and I feel like the way that like his career has worked out for him is just like really awesome, and I like watching
Right,
him like grow as an artist. But
right,
like you said, like like you're Catholic, and like I I've been Christian, like that's just like how we were raised and stuff like that. But like if we watch that video, I don't think either of us are going to be like, "Oh yeah, let's not be Christian anymore." And now
right.
we're like we don't believe in God and now we're atheists. Like that's not what's going to happen. Like we're all
Right.
adults. We all can make our own decisions, and he can make his own decision, and if that's what he wants to do, then that's what he wants to do. I just don't
Right.
see how it affects any of us.
100%. I will say, like, they have, Christians have a right to be upset just because it is. I think they have a right to, be upset, but they don't have a right to say you shouldn't do that.
Exactly.
Right to be upset in the sense that, all right, yes, we all know what Satan is and what it means to Christianity. So it's like that conscious decision to put that out in the world, especially as a huge public figure.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's also huge, like one of the biggest themes of Christianity itself, Catholicism included, is acceptance of each other.
Mm-hmm.
We're not God. We're not Jesus. We're not perfect. We should stop trying to tell other people how to be perfect.
Yeah. I mean, like I think
That's where I'm
whatever.
getting this.
Yeah, like I think whatever Christians can be upset about it as well, but I think in that moment of being upset about it, they need to also take a look at themselves and think about the reason that the music video was even released in the first place. The reason the song was even released in the first place was because of how people, a part of the like Christianity in general, have treated people who are queer, LGBTQ plus, you know, like for all of forever. So it's like,
yeah, that's a much bigger,
yeah,
that's a much bigger discussion than putting Satan in the video. But
exactly,
it's 100% a big, like the whole point of him doing it, right, is to start that conversation. Wow.
So I mean, yeah, no, that's why it's like, that's why it's everywhere right now. It's just so controversial. But because I think I read that somewhere actually. I'm like, that's a great point. Like Christians can be upset about it, but you also have to think about like those feelings that you have right now, and like you might be angry, but think about like how Little Nas, every other little kid has their entire like teenage forming years feelings. So it's kind of like you have to be better. I mean, I think like we both agree in the same stance where like we are both very accepting and we don't use our religion or our beliefs to oppress others. I think that we both have those same behaviors and those same feelings for the people around us. So
no, I just use my age and oppress millennials.
Yeah, that's it. Well, see, I use my age and I oppress Gen Z because I really just consider us zillennials, Michael. I don't think
okay. This, we might need to have a whole different episode on Gen Z versus millennial as freaking 97 versus 98.
I think we just have to be something completely different. Like we don't
I feel we could both identify with both.
Mm-hmm.
I personally feel more identifiable with Gen Z, but at the same time,
I personally feel more identifiable with millennials. So like, it's hard.
But you're also not 40.
Yeah, but like my brother's millennial, and I feel like we have like the same humor. We laugh at the same stuff.
Maybe that's is like even though me and my brother are kind of somewhat similar humor, like him and I are almost night and day.
Yeah, that's true.
That man's 95. That man's, you know, I'd call him millennial, like hardcore millennial.
Yeah, no, I guess if I would have been like, if I was the oldest, or like if my brother was my age and then I was like whatever year that would have been, like, you know, things would be different in how.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah. Little doggy out here.
But no, you're right. That's millennials is a whole other conversation. So that's gonna take an hour.
That's gonna be a fun episode. Anywho, that was a great discussion about Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok.
Yeah, we miss you on those apps. I mean, I don't have TikTok, but I miss you on the other ones. So can't wait for you to be back.
I'll be there.
The world will be a better place. Maybe all of this that's been happening is because you left Twitter.
That's honestly, that's what it is. No, oh my goodness, that's 100%. Oh my goodness, Renika, think about it. I gave this up for Lent. I gave this up for Lent. I'm gonna re-download all of this and come back to virtual life on Easter and save all of virtual humanity.
I feel like if you're comparing yourself to Jesus, this just got a little weird.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, Lil Nas. Okay, so I also had trouble thinking of a great topic.
Yeah, let me hear it. Trouble because we were talking about this and how we almost just pushed this off for another month because we didn't have topics, but
yeah, and basically we were talking about before we started recording this podcast is like I could not find any topic to discuss because my entire timelines on every form of media I have been Little Nas. So I'm like, is there anything else going on in the world right now? I'm trying to hear about the trials too, but it's just
right.
So it's just been a lot. Yeah. So I had three options, but I think I decided on one that would produce a more fun conversation. Because the first one is
conversations.
The first one was we know people that are getting married but I feel like both of us are still like 12. The other
Oh,
one was like about regression, which kind of seemed like it might end up depressing at the end.
what's regression?
Like when you
Regression.
go back to something that you used to do when you were happy because you're like stressed and not in a good place in life. I don't know. I saw it in like a TV show and then it made me think
Oh
about other
no.
stuff. And I was it wasn't gonna be
I've
that
been doing
sad, I
that for like the whole
promise.
year.
I know that's the thing. I was gonna
Oh.
bring it up because I've been like replaying all my old favorite games from when I was younger. But anyways, the topic that I decided on that's not gonna be depressing, um, is the question is what makes like out of all the nights that you've had in your life that you can like remember like, oh, these were like the best nights of my life, like what makes a fun night for you? Like is it like the people that were there, is it something that you did, or is it something that someone else did and you remember that? Like what are the things that like you really think that like going forward into the future when you're like 50 you're going to look back on your teens and 20s and be like, damn, this was a really fun time?
So I've kind of got two criteria, two independent criteria that would label this as one of the best nights of my life. But first,
Okay,
I want to know what made you think of this.
that is a good question. So we were talking about yesterday how like the nights that you're in Aurora are like really
Right.
fun, and then
Oh
like
my
the last
goodness.
time,
Yes. Yes.
yeah, like pepper spraying and stuff like that. And I'm like they're like I was like thinking, I was like, there are some nights that are just so much more memorable than like all of the like we have
Right?
fun times together. Like we have a lot of great times. Like, you know, I'm never really
Mhm.
bored when like I'm hanging out with the group. And so I'm just like, what makes like some of these things like so much more memorable than others?
Yeah, no, that's a good point. Actually, that's actually something I haven't realized that I've been kind of thinking a good amount about recently, especially because I am currently in the process of trying to move from Miami back to Aurora. Um, uh, this is probably actually just like regression at its pinnacle. Um, yeah, that's my little cameo. Drop that in there. Make
So
that work.
we'll combine these topics for this one.
Bang, there it is. Um, so my two criteria, I literally just forgot the second. I think the second was just a matter of like, I guess the people in a sense, and just like that, or rather, a feeling of just like it's blissful to me, and that's how I remember is just like those nights are just like even if something bad happens, it's so one of the most important things for me is humor and just like is this fun and is it funny? So even if it's a bad thing, is this making me laugh right now? Okay, I'm gonna remember this for the rest of my life because like this is giving me that blissful night or blissful feeling for the whole night and just like my childhood. Just remember those nights where like we didn't like we would just walk around Iliff and Buckley sometimes, me and a couple friends or whoever, or even in high school with you guys, just driving around freaking McDonald's parking lot.
Love McDonald's parking lot.
Right. And it was like nothing needed to really happen. It was just this feeling of like, I guess almost like liberation. Like it was like freeing. Like it was like liberating. Like it's like I
Yeah,
have nothing else that's weighing me down at this moment. And I can just enjoy it for what it is and just laugh, get pepper sprayed in the face by my good friend Renika, just solely for the purpose of just wanting to know what it feels like and just having the time of my life.
getting tased in the ass by your good friend Alyssa.
Oh my goodness. All of these are just like good. So this is actually a good transition to my second criteria. First being the feeling, that liberating feeling of just pure freedom and just like
Yeah.
that emotional freedom. Two, so that would either be one of the nights or not rather or two, there's a story.
Okay.
There's a story to go along with it. That's like, okay, that is hands down one of the top nights. I can tell you about the time. I can tell you about the Oreo. I'm not going to say more than that. Our vibrators, who know what that is, know what I'm talking about.
Wait, do I know what this is?
You should.
Can you give me a
I'll probably.
time
I
frame at
wasn't. I have.
least?
I don't know if I've like if we talked about this recently, because I don't know. It's just one of those stories that you tell each person like once or twice, and it just comes up every so often, and I don't think it's come up in a while.
Okay, we'll discuss it after the
We will
recording.
discuss it after because it's not something I want to share with the world. Even though I'm afraid at some point it might, but that's Michael's problem. I could
Okay.
tell you about the time with the Oreo. I could tell you about the taser or the pepper spray. I could tell you about the story where we walked a 14-foot trampoline across one of the busiest streets without a crosswalk.
God.
Is that while it was raining? That's just a fun quality summer night. And I could tell you, oh geez, I don't even know about the time, the shopping cart. That one is iconic. Tell you about the time of like 19, technically underage, drinking and getting drunk at a professional baseball game. Fantastic time of my life. And it's all those things. Is like there's a story, like a specific story to all this that I'll never feel like I'll have to write down.
Yeah. No,
You know, that feeling,
I
like,
got you.
you know. So that is what I would say makes these certain specific nights, one of the best nights of my life.
Right. No, I like that. Because when I was like trying to think about like what my answer would be, I was like, is it like the people? Is it like someone does something embarrassing? Is it something that I do? And I was like trying to think about it.
I
And I
think
was
it's a
like, I
little
don't
bit
know.
like I think it's a little piece of each of that.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. Like I'm thinking of like a few things off the top of my head. And obviously if they're like coming to my head, then that means that like those are the ones that are like a fun night for me. And I'm just like,
Right.
I can't really like, I don't know, like one of them is the night of convocation when I was driving you and you were like,
Oh no.
yeah.
I was about to ask how many of these involve the McDonald's parking lot.
And we almost got arrested, Michael. Like it was like literally I made an illegal turn and you were screaming outside of my car. You were literally on top of my roof at that point. A cop just drives by and I'm like, all
Wait,
right, we're done. We're done.
convocation.
It was the night before graduation. You know that like award
Oh
ceremony that
yeah.
we
Okay.
had?
Yeah. So yeah, it is the same night I'm thinking of. This is just
Yeah.
the second half of the night that I don't remember.
I hate you. I really thought we were gonna. Oh my god, man.
Oh my goodness, I remember, bro. Okay, I have a gas problem in general. I think it was worse in high school because I cared much less and I thought it was much funnier. I still think it's kind of funny, but at that point, I don't know if you remember this part. Jeb picked me up in my truck. He was driving because I was. I don't even think I need to say it. Regardless, they were with a couple girls, and I just like, without even knowing, because of how far gone I was, I let it rip.
Oh
And
my god.
it was silent, and it wasn't just silent, it was, I didn't even feel it. But I think in my head, I could feel something, but I was like, oh, maybe I'm just super drunk. Like maybe that was just, I made that up. And then everyone in there, there was like 6 people in there, and they all go, "What the fuck is that?" Michael!
You're so foul. Like you're actually disgusting.
Bro, I'm sitting next to Cynthia Corral. Oh, and I
I
just
hope
remember
she listens to this. I'll shoot her a DM.
I know I apologized in that moment, but I want to apologize again. And like I know it sounds like I'm not sincere, but I am. It's just so fucking funny because I remember looking over and it was like the amount
Bro.
of disgust on her face was matched by how much she was laughing at it. And I'm like, I think everyone is feeling that exact same way in this car right now. Because
Oh my god, poor Cynthia.
oh my goodness, it stunk.
Michael, you're so gross.
Yeah, yeah, big time.
I don't understand. I mean,
Dude,
another one that I
night,
can
that was one of the best nights of my life.
I
Dang.
don't know. I don't know why.
The best part about that, and there's like 4 or 5 different stories from that night. The best one, or just the best way to tie it all up, is the fact that high school graduation, the very next morning, I was hungover for.
No, the fact that like what was it, like a group of like 10 of us just showed up at that party in our
Yeah,
caps and
and
gowns
half
just
you
to
guys
be
were in your
obnoxious.
robes. Yeah.
Like that was so extra of us.
Most of you guys all left and you just left me stranded. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna shotgun 2 more beers with a couple people.
No,
And
yeah,
then,
they all left and I stayed because you
right.
had my keys, Michael. You had my keys because you were using them to shotgun. And then I was like, Michael, we need to go. And you were like, oh, okay. And I was like, where are my keys? And you're like, oh, shit. And you ran downstairs and handed me my keys. And they were soaking wet with
Yeah.
beer. And I was like,
I shotgunned probably like 3 or 4 beers that night. And then I don't know if you remember this, but I stole like 4 or 5 beers because I was like, okay, after like all of our friends left, I'm like, the only reason I'm here is for free beer. So in my defense, I got what I wanted.
What a weird thing to do the night before we were gonna graduate.
Not just graduate high school.
Well, that's a pussy move.
What a great story.
I could just imagine you walking on stage, Ronald Fay, and you just like puking on him because you're hungover.
Do you I don't know if you remember this, but that same morning, the only thing I did to get ready was shave. And my mom was like, oh man, that whole night is just, I could write a whole book on just that, like 48 hours. I wake up, still a little hungover, my mom tried to get me up at like 8. We had to leave by like 9:30 or something. I didn't want to get up. Yeah. Finally roll over at like 8:45, realize, all right, I'd like to at least get my diploma. And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna have fun with this. Even though I feel like shit, I'm still have fun. I go into the bathroom, I shave a Fu Manchu. For those of you who don't know what that is, look up Hulk Hogan on my face with 18-year-olds, thin, more full than most 18-year-olds can grow, but still thin, gross, handlebar mustache. And my mom knocks on the bathroom window or bathroom door. Are you ready? And I open it, look at her. She looks back at me and just, like, she said everything she needed to without saying a word. She just sighed, looked away, said, we'll be in the car. And I lost.
Michelle doesn't deserve
this already was worth it. Yeah. Michelle deserves a word, like the greatest mom in the world award for what she had to put up with.
Too much. Yeah. Like, I couldn't have done it. I would have left you guys.
Yeah, no. I probably
like, Michael's like too
7,
much for me.
100%. I'm sure by the age of 7, with any other parent, like they would have tried to put me on a fire station doorstep.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
I just hope that one day, if you have kids, they are more mature than you.
That's easy. I feel bad for them because they're gonna have to freaking deal with me. Oh man, bless my children.
Lots of therapy, please.
Oh, tons.
Oh my God, those poor little guys.
They're gonna have fun.
Be okay. No, they're not. You know they're not.
Okay, fuck them. I'm gonna have fun.
I was talking to Joe the other day, and we were just like, I can't wait to see the girl that Michael marries, because she's gonna have to be a saint. She's gonna have to be the strongest woman on this earth. Like, she's gonna have to do a lot.
Oh, we talk about that sometimes with like me and my family, because so you are aware, for our vibrators out there, my dad is one of 8 children, large family, large family functions, whole bunch of cousins. It's great time. But as we are now, me and my cousins, my generation, are kind of getting older. Two of them are married, both have kids. Me and my cousins closest to my age, we talk a lot about how who our significant others, and what, like, we have to, most of us have to prep them for meeting the rest of our family. Not that our family's bad, just they're kind of chaotic a little bit. They're a good time, like good chaotic. Yeah. I think about that and I'm like, I've never thought about that, because I know whoever my significant other, soulmate, spouse, whoever is, if they can deal with me, they can deal with anything.
That's what I was gonna say. I was like, if anyone is able to like manage, especially like a few of you, I'm not really good at your cousins' names, but of course, like, I've met them either in person or through,
you can use the general those people.
Those ones. I feel like if anyone that y'all find should be fully prepared to meet the rest of y'all.
Yeah, no, they'll feel like it's walking a park.
Oh yeah, there's no problem. And with Michelle as a mother-in-law, that's
bro. No, they're good. If my mom doesn't like you and you don't like my mom, you're out. Like,
okay, I'm sorry,
it's
but
impossible.
If anyone doesn't like your mom, like, I'll beat their ass.
How could you not? She's the greatest, just
the sweetest soul. Like, 10 out of 10 mom. Like, I can name like a few of my friends' moms that like I think are like 10 out of 10 parents. Michelle is 100% on that list. Up there.
She kind of had to be. I mean, look at her, the youngest son she had to raise. Fuck.
Yeah, that's fair.
You got to be patient. Shit.
Like, I'm just like, it's insane. But I'm just so glad that she's produced a child that produces so many fun nights for others as well. I feel like a lot of
fun nights. I produce fun nights and some of the best nights for people, and that does everything I need. That's my piece right there.
Like, even honestly, dude, even my most memorable nights from college, like, I would say that you're probably in half of them at least. And like, we actually separated by thousands of miles.
Yeah, that's nuts. Like, me too. Like, I've had a lot of good friends and I have a lot of good memories from college and everything, but I'm like no one raises as much chaos as I do when I'm around like you, Joe, and Alyssa, and just like people from back home. Like,
oh my God, I'm sorry. This just came to my mind, but I have to. This is something that I will never fucking forget. Do you remember the night we were at Alyssa's house and we were hanging out in her basement, and Talon sends us a Snapchat and he's like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And we're like, bro, is he okay? Like, so like, I think I called him, or maybe you called him, and we were like, dude, like, drive over to Alyssa's house. Like, come here. Are you good? Like, you can come here. You can, like, whatever you're freaking out about, there's like a lot of us here. We can talk you down from whatever is like making you so upset. He walks into Alyssa's basement and he just says, I fucking ran over a fucking rabbit. I tried to record it, but I couldn't. And I was like, I still have the screenshots from that night of his face, and he's telling a story. He's like, I saw it, and then I tried to move, but then the rabbit also moved, and then I heard the bump, and I just hit it, and then I screamed, and I was like, what? That is like one of the funniest things that has ever happened, and I am so glad that we were all there for that. Because I will never forget that night.
I'm so happy you remember that, because I don't. And hearing that was like, but like hearing it for the first time, and I thought it was like 14 different things. That was not what I thought it was.
Because like it's somewhere like either in my screenshots or my Snapchat memories or something. And sometimes, you know, if I'm looking through my pictures, I'll just see a screaming face of Talon, and I'm just like, oh my god, he is. Oh my god, that boy.
That's so funny.
That's a good one. And like that was college. You were there. Memorable night.
Memorable
for
night.
sure.
Okay.
God, oh my god, I love that dude. I think that is a great spot to end it on, and I hope to God he listens to this, and same with Cynthia too.
But, make sure. We'll both send it to him.
Yeah, no. Oh wait, before we go though, we usually shout out Amanda as our top vibrator. I wanted to let you know that we have a new big fan, Michael.
Oh, we have a new massive vibrator.
Yeah, not like she admitted herself, not as great as Amanda, because Amanda, #1 vibrator, we love you, but
absolutely,
she subscribed, she binged the entire, like all of our episodes today, and she was like, let me know when you release the new episode, and I was like, we're recording it tonight, I'll text you.
Look at that.
Yeah,
just for her.
My roommate Rachel, you met her.
Oh, shout out Rachel, new biggest vibrator, plugging in. Use us, abuse us, we love it.
She is one of the top vibrators that we have. Very, very thankful, very appreciative of her. So
appreciative.
I needed to tell you that. I forgot to tell you that earlier, but now she's got a shout out, so it's all good.
I'm a thank her. I think I only have her Instagram, so I'll thank her in a week.
Okay, sounds good. Yep, that works.
Shout out Rachel.
Shout out Rachel. Shout out the rest of our vibrators. Thank you guys so much for listening to our March 2021 episode. Very sorry that we skipped last month. Hopefully that will not happen again, but knowing us, it will. So
yeah, and also fuck Illinois for losing in the second round. Just felt like I needed to get that out there. Okay, cool. March Madness point done.
Yep, I totally am up to speed on that whole thing.
Good talk, Nika.
So yeah, see y'all next month or the month after that or the one after that sometime soon.
New episode sometime.
Eventually. Love it. Thank you, vibrators. Vibe out.
Vibe out.